Okay, hi there, welcome back. Um, so this is part 2 of the Indian monsoon. So I hope you have watched the part 1 video. So just a quick recap. In part 1 I discussed what are the basic factors governing Indian monsoon, the Tibetan Plateau, ITCZ movement, tropical easterly jet, Mascaron High and the Somali jet, and EICC and Indian Ocean Dipole and El Nino. In the previous video, I had covered about Tibetan High, ITCZ movement, tropical easterly jet, and the Mascaron High and Somali jet. So basically, we stopped here where we said why the Somali jet forms and how these westerly winds are pushed into the Indian subcontinent, and these are the low-level westerly jets. Okay, so far so good, right? So next, what I am going to show is how what is the effect of this westerly jet, okay, on our Indian monsoon. So once this is the basics of how the monsoon sets up. Tibetan Plateau heating happens, ITCZ moves up, thereby creating the ascending branch of Hadley cell here, and this Somali jet pushes the moist winds from the Indian Ocean all the way to Indian subcontinent, and that's how. And the circulation is here, so there is constant feed of moisture into the Indian subcontinent. There is an active low pressure system which is sitting here, so that's how we will have a constant blast of these winds coming in and dumping rains into the to subcontinent of India. Okay, this is what happens. And like I said, we have two branches. One is Arabian Sea branch, one is the Bay of Bengal branch. So this Arabian Sea branch is the Somali jet that we discussed now. So let us see how this Arabian Sea branch helps in bringing monsoon rains to India. So what happens is, as the Somali jet is moving from west to east, it's a westerly jet. What it does is there could be a cyclonic circulation in Arabian Sea, okay, which could trigger a trough formation. So this trough is very important because this trough is nothing but a cyclonic circulation of winds. The cyclonic circulation of winds always leads to cloudiness and high level cloudiness because it is going to now try to push the air upwards. Okay, so that upward air movement will continuously form cloud bands in the Arabian Sea, and because of this westerly winds, these cloud bands will get pushed into Indian subcontinent, and they will give rains. Okay, this is the Arabian Sea branch. I also said that there is a Bay of Bengal branch which helps, and there is also a Bay of Bengal trough. There is a trough in the Bay of Bengal as well, and this trough formation is all Bay of Bengal dynamics. Okay, so because of the Tibetan Plateau heating, there is a low pressure formation here, which again leads to a formation of this trough. Okay, but other than this, there is one more important aspect which leads to formation of a trough and plays a very important role in Indian monsoon. That is known as the East Indian Coastal Current. This East Indian Coastal Current, or EICC, is nothing but a pool of water that moves north to south. South to north. Okay, it moves from south all the way to the north. So what does it do? So basically, it's nothing known as a western boundary current. So it pushes the warm water from from south all the way to the north. And while it does that, this is in July, it creates an anticyclonic eddy. Okay, it creates an anticyclonic eddy. So this anticyclonic eddy over the ocean, what it does is it keeps warming the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so the amount of energy that is present in Bay of Bengal is much higher because the surface of the water is warmer. Okay, that's what this anticyclonic eddy does. So as it keeps warming the water, there is a high chance of convection being happening in the Bay of Bengal, and that's exactly what this trough does. Okay, so that's exactly how this trough forms. It forms because of the Tibetan Plateau heating, but also it is helpful in forming new systems. So that's why during monsoon, more than 50 or 60% of the systems are formed in Bay of Bengal, and the tropical easterly jet, which is the high level jet, pushes the depression or low pressure regions from Bay of Bengal towards all the way to Bombay coast or Kerala coast. And that's why not only the Arabian Sea branch is important for southwest monsoon, the Bay of Bengal branch is extremely important because of this East Indian coastal current, it helps in generation of systems. Many depressions, many well-marked low systems are formed in Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is very energetic compared to Arabian Sea. Okay, and that's why we depend 50 or more than 50% of the systems that bring in rain, okay, that they occur due to the Bay of Bengal system. So if you shut this entire thing off, then our rainfall amount will be very less. Okay, so this Bay of Bengal has a very important role to play, and this EICC is very important because it helps in creation of systems either in the southern bay, central bay, or the northern bay, and then the tropical easterly jet will push these systems, bringing rains to Indian subcontinent. Okay, in January the EICC reverses, and that leads to the formation of northeast monsoon. We are not discussing northeast monsoon here. That's a totally different ball ball game. But for southwest monsoon, this is very important. Okay. IOD and ENSO, which are the last two things, these are synoptic scale systems. This is the Indian Ocean dipole, where the differential heating and cooling between the Somalia coast and the Sumatra coast helps. Okay, so this Indian Ocean dipole can either enhance the Walker cell circulation or it can weaken the Walker cell circulation. Same thing with ENSO, which is El Nino Southern Oscillation. The differential heating between the eastern and the western Pacific could lead to ENSO conditions or neutral ENSO or La Nina. Neutral ENSO conditions are good because then that means the winds will be pushed, the trade winds, these are again the moist trade winds, these winds will be pushed towards India, and these winds will help in creating convection and formation of systems for the Indian monsoon. If ENSO is active, then it will weaken the trade winds. It will not allow the winds to blow all the way from Pacific to Indian Ocean, and that way the amount of moisture or the amount of these moist winds that comes to India will become weaker, and that's how you will end up with drought in many places. Okay, so this is how these IOD and ENSO play a role. Okay, so I hope this video was useful. So I am going to sum it up in a nutshell. What happens is there is a Tibetan plateau heating. The Tibetan plateau heating causes a vertical updraft all the way up to 8 or 9 kilometers, and that leads to a formation of this tropical easterly jet, high-level tropical easterly jet. This tropical easterly jet is important because whatever systems form in Bay of Bengal will get pushed into Indian subcontinent. Okay. Then because of the presence of mascaron high, there is a Somali jet, the low-level Somali jet, which brings in all the moisture or clouds from Arabian Sea all the way to Indian subcontinent. So as you can see, Arabian Sea is Somali jet, whereas the Bay of Bengal is the tropical easterly jet, and so nevertheless both of these ocean bodies bring the cloudiness towards India during monsoon. And finally we have this ITCZ, which is lying around 20-23 degree latitude, and that's the ascending part of the Hadley cell, which keeps things very, very active during monsoon, which is from June to September. And after September, this ITCZ will keep moving down. And last thing is this EICC, which we talked about in the Bay of Bengal. That's also very important because this East Indian coastal current is what drives the many systems in Bay of Bengal. That if you shut off the EICC, then not many systems will form. Okay. So I hope this video was useful. And please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with more videos, educational videos, and also weather updates. Thank you. And lastly, the factors for onset of monsoon are these. Westerly winds have to reach high values. Westerly depth of 3 kilometers. So the low-level Somali jet should be up to 3 kilometers depth, up to 700 HPA. Above that, it is all tropical easterly jet. Outgoing long wave should be less than 200 because that indicates cloudiness. And sufficient rainfall in 60 to 70% of the stations. If these 4 conditions are met, onset of monsoon is announced. Okay. With that, I will sign off and thank you. And again, I would encourage you to subscribe to this to my videos. Thank you. Bye.